Everybody, Shane Severson here, Legacy Realty. Hey, our April numbers are out, so I'm going to come to you with our April market update. I'm very excited to do this every month to track what's going on in our Denver market, to see what the trends are and what is happening. So let's dive in. I always start with our average price on the market. So let's start with that. Let's look at what our average price is. The average price for April was $520,953. That number is actually up 3.5% over last year. So you can see that the trend continues to rise. If you own a home, this has been a good market for you. If you do not own a home, I would recommend strongly getting into the market because it's going to continue. I'm going to address some of those issues and why it's so important to buy, although we've been talking about that for years and it continues to hold true. Our average days on the market, as we look at that, our average days on the market is 34. Now, here's what's interesting about that. That is the total time that a house is on the MLS. Now, if you look at it, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to close on a home. You got it. That means that a house actually sits active on the market about, well, probably less than a week. We are seeing that the nice homes under that average price of mid-fives, we're seeing that those homes actually go within a day or two. Now, the nice homes, if your house is nicely presented for a buyer and it's priced right and it's in those price ranges, your home should go fairly quickly. Some markets in the area may be a little bit different, but average, you should see that house go pretty quickly, and you should see that it sells for top dollar. Most of the homes that we're listing are going within a couple days, over asking still, and so the market and the trends are holding true, and they continue. So and a lot of that is based off of our supply. Now, we talk about this all the time. Our supply is what dictates our prices, because the demand holds true. People are still moving to Denver. They're still watching all of that. They're still looking for real estate. And as the number of homes drops, the prices actually rise. So we were at 1.8 months supply last year. We are currently at 1.7. So not much different, but it definitely is way under the 6 months of supply that we need in order to kind of change this market and shift it into more of a neutral, not buyer, not seller market. So we see that. I want to talk about two topics really in our time, the rest of our time here, and that is because of this supply and demand. I talk about this the last few market updates, especially because people still feel like with the unemployment, with the recession coming, with everything happening, how can Denver be holding true? I sound like a broken record, I know, but not everybody watches every video. So I feel like it's important to to track this and see kind of what we're thinking and what's going on. And that is when you have 10 buyers fighting for one home. Our last few homes, we had 20 showings in the first day on one of them in the middle of COVID, in the middle of all of this stuff going on. We had 20 showings in the first day. Another one, we had 40 showings in the first day, and it went for one 10,000 over asking, another 20,000 over asking in the middle of one of the hardest times our country has ever seen. And so you can see that even though unemployment is going up, when you have 10, 15 buyers fighting for one home, you can see that during that time, if unemployment hits, if the number of buyers shrinks, you can see that, okay, now you don't have 10, 15 buyers fighting for a home. We now have 5 buyers fighting for a home, which really in all reality is not even the truth, because we see 20 to 40 showings in a day or two. So you can see that the market is very strong and holding true. Now, one thing that I hit on in a tips Tuesday, so I want to talk about this a little bit. I shared, why would you want to buy when the market is actually dropping? Well, first of all, let me say that the market is not dropping. So that is the first thing to look at. The market is not dropping, so that doesn't hold water. But let's assume that this gets worse. Let's assume the economy crashes and it does get worse. Why would you want to buy in a market that's actually decreasing? Well, let me explain what happens. As the market drops, our interest rates actually rise. That's pretty standard. A lot of times that's what happens most every time. We know that the government is out there offering all of this stimulus money and everything. It's going to hit us. It's going to hit us in a lot of different areas, but inflation, interest rates will rise and so forth. So I talked about this, and so I want to share this concept with you that today, if you're looking at a home with a value of $450,000, your interest rate right now is in the low threes, 3.375, possibly right around there. Your payment for that $450,000 home is actually $1,934. Well, if the market does drop, let's assume it does drop. Let's assume, for all those people that are expecting the market to drop, let's assume it does. And let's just assume that it drops 5%, but the interest rates rise, which they will. If you get that $450,000 home and you were smart, you waited for that 5% drop, your rate now, let's assume, goes up just over a percentage. So we're now at 4.625. Now that payment went from $1,934, it went up to $2,101. That's a 5% drop. Now I'm going to break all these numbers out for you, but I'll be quick. Let's say it drops, the market drops 10%. Wow, 10% is a huge drop in the Denver market. We've never really seen much other than when the whole mortgage industry collapsed. Let's assume that you get that $450,000 house. Let's assume you get it for $405,000. So you almost save, well, you save $45,000 on that house. But now your interest rate is 5.625. If you know interest rates, I was selling, when I got in the business over 20 years ago, I was selling rates at 12, 14%. We've seen those days, but 5% is actually a good rate. So if, let's say, your rate goes up to 5.625, your payment now went up to $2,208. So that $450,000 home that you would have paid today is now, you got it at $405, and your payment went from $1,934 to $2,208. You can see how the numbers change drastically when the interest rates go up. We've been at an all-time low with interest rates. We've been tracking these all-time low. If the market drops, interest rates will go up, and if interest rates go up, your payment will go up no matter how much the market drops. It's time to buy, it's time to sell, it's time to be in real estate in Denver because the market is holding true. I hope that helps. I hope that's good information. If you have any questions, if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, reach out to me. I would love to answer your questions. I would love to be of service and help you in any way that I can. Denver's a great place to live. It is a gorgeous day. Come join us and jump into the real estate market. Hope that helps. God bless. We'll catch you real soon.